Must have misheard.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to City Council this evening for Wednesday, September 11th. We have to do a quick other meeting fast before we get to our general meeting, so we'll go through that as quick as we can. So we'll call to order our Community Development and Renewal Agency meeting. Start with item 2.1, motion, look for a motion to approve the minutes from September 11th.
Okay. Motion to have the minutes of September 11th, 2024 be prepared and distributed to each member of the CDA board. The board will have 10 days to review the minutes and submit any changes to the secretary. If after 10 days there are no changes, the minutes will stand approved. If there are changes, the process will be followed until all changes are made and the board is in agreement.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Sherry. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. 3.1, consideration of an amendment to the interlocal cooperative agreement with Salt Lake County for the Herriman Business Center the Community Development Project area. Blake.
Quick. All right, just waiting for the presentation to come up. Just a little background on the Herriman Business Center Community Development Area, or CDA, we'll call it in this presentation, so I don't have to say that much every time. Oh, is that the wrong one? Thank you. So the CDA was created in this area in 2016. And right out of the project area plan, the purpose of it was to encourage, promote, provide for the development of a mixed-use development. I like that they used development twice, but anyway, really the purpose of this is to generate revenue to pay for infrastructure outside of impact fees or the developer paying for them up front and getting reimbursed that way. So that's the purpose of the CDA, just for public consumption in the background. So with each one of these community development areas, if we do collect tax increment funding on the property tax, we end up having to do an interlocal agreement with each one of the taxing entities like Sewer District, Salt Lake County. In this case, we're looking to amend the Salt Lake County agreement. The original one was executed in 2016, had some performance benchmarks that we'll need to verify with the county that we've met those as we go through this process, and we'll get that done. In the original one, there was a residential restriction that only allowed for 27 acres of residential development within the project area. The rest of it needed to be commercial. And then as soon as you turn the tax increment collection on, this one allowed it to run for 20 years. I think there was an amendment a couple years ago because of COVID to add a little bit of time to that. And then in 2022, actually the city council adopted a couple of amendments between now and then, but they never went to the county to get executed. So we only have, you'll see in your packet that this said it's the third amendment. I later found out after it posted that it was the second amendment. So the first amendment, or the only amendment we've had to this point, was in March 2022. And this one requested to increase, or approved the increase of the acreage of residential housing up to 32. And then it put some additional restrictions into number of units and maximum density. And then it also had another bullet point that's not on here, is they adjusted the boundary of that just a little bit. And that was because of the RSL Academy. So this map shows what's being proposed in this second amendment, and it would replace entirely section 5.10 of the original agreement and allow up to 78.5 acres of residential development in that area. We've seen some struggle with trying to get more commercial development in this area. With the addition of Mountain View Village and some of our other centers, it's just been a little bit of a struggle to get that much commercial into this area. You can see over on the right side, the existing residential development that's in the site, that is underneath what's allowed in the 2022 amendment. So, but then the proposed is to add an additional 47 acres on top of that 31.5, and then add another 708 units on top of that 693 units into this area. And you can kind of see the areas on the map, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So this is all in conjunction with the project we just heard in the work meeting about the Panorama project. This is laid out with their plan. So in order to allow their plan to move forward as they're proposing, they would have to get this amendment completed to build the housing in there that they'd want. Otherwise, there could be risk that we wouldn't get the tax increment funding from the county, their portion, because we'd be in breach of the contract. So with that, staff does recommend approval that CDRA board approve this proposed amendment. And the next steps would be that we'd have to go through Salt Lake County to get the approval. And so with that, we just met with the county earlier this week. And there's a project area plan we'd need to update. We've reached out to Zions Bank to help us with that already, and the project area budget. Our initial take on it, Kyle was looking at it the other day, is this proposed development would generate more funding and spur the development quicker because the clock is ticking on the CDA right now and we're collecting that tax increment. It would generate more than if we didn't do this and kept it the way it is. And then staff will work to verify those performance benchmarks have been met. So be happy to answer any questions or whatever you have at this moment.
Seeing no questions or comments, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to approve resolution R2024-04, approving an amendment to the interlocal agreement with Salt Lake County for Herriman Business Center Community Development Project Area.
Second.
Motion by Jared, second by Sherry. Jared?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That motion carries. Look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the CDRA meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. John, do we need to pause or can we go right in? Okay. So at this point now, we will begin our general meeting of the evening. Got a special treat tonight. We're going to have, we have our Herriman Police Department Honor Guard, and they will present the flags for tonight's council meeting. So at this point, will everyone please rise?
Honor guard. Attention. Work arms. Face. March. Mark time. March. Halt. Forward. Face. Present. Colors.
Will you please follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Colors.
At this point tonight, due to the special occasion today, remembering September 11th, we're going to take a quick moment of silence, if you could join us in that. Thank you.
Honor guard. Right. Face. March.
Thank you. You can be seated. I will say just a comment on that. I think all of us remember where we were every day this year. Comes around, you know, every time this day comes around every year, I think we all remember where we were on this day 24 years ago now. And so today we honor those who lost their lives that day and remember them. And there were 3 Utahns. We learned that on, had the Freedom Fest here Saturday, and they mentioned the 3 Utahns that lost their lives, but thousands lost their lives that day. So today we remember them. So appreciate our police department and their honor guard tonight. Always a treat when we have them with us. Okay, at this point, we will go to City Council comments and recognitions.
So I will add my voice to yours. I will never forget where I was at when I watched hatred of liberty and hatred of freedom take the lives of a lot of innocent people. And but I also will never forget the feeling of unity for Americans that came after. The camaraderie and just the love for country and the love for freedom and liberty that was exhibited after. But unfortunately, sometimes it's short-lived, the feelings of camaraderie. And I would hope that what would be lasting in September 11th, and I believe the way that we honor the people who lost their lives there, is to stand for freedom and stand for liberty. Most of all, stand together and be united as Americans in the things that unite us and work on the things that separate us, and walk away from hatred and walk towards seeing our differences in a different light.
Thank you, Sherry. Any other comments or recognitions tonight?
Well said there. I was going to say, we've got 3 outstanding young men in the audience. They're here to get school credit. Something that they probably don't know is they have to make a public comment for us to sign off on it. So just
Wait for that. It's coming. Your time's coming. So think of something, a concern you have in the city or something funny to say, and we'll give you credit. I love it. I do have one recognition tonight. Jose, can you come forward? Antonio, will you come with him right now? You guys all know Antonio. Antonio's nominated, and we've been talking about this as well. You guys remember Capitan Zaragoya, who was here, Jose, who helped organize, and this is part of his group, but helped organize the first kite festival that we had in our city. We had a great turnout. We had a good turnout. We had a couple hundred kids show up. Cohen and I tried to fly a kite. It did not go well. They tried. Everybody tried to help us. It did not go well. But truly, it was a remarkable chance to bring this community together. We had all sorts of vendors there, music. It was phenomenal. I mean, absolutely enjoyed it, and we hope it's back again next year, of course.
A promise.
It's a promise. And for Capitan Zaragoya, it goes beyond that. What he's doing in the community, not Herriman, but all over this corner of the valley with I've seen your work in other cities that you're doing. He's an author. He's a uniter. Like his goal is to unite the community, bring everybody together to celebrate our country. I mean, to celebrate our freedoms that we are enjoying here, and just while recognizing the heritage where you also come from, which is just phenomenal. So tonight we've got, you want to take a minute, Jose Antonio, and say what we've got? What are we going to do for him?
Sorry?
What are we going to do for him?
What we're going to do?
Yeah.
We're going to recognize Captain Zaragoya. He's part of the group that are helping us to integrate communities. Since February, I talked with you about you speak Spanish. We need the mayor integrate with our communities. Since February to now, I think we did a lot of things, and we advanced in a good way.
Yep, absolutely. And Capitan, you played a large role in that. So this is Adriana. Adriana makes, I don't know if you saw my post, she made a little doll of me that was like the coolest thing I've ever, like Adriana, I still get emotional when it's in my office at home. It just means the world to me. So we presented one to, did you know this was coming, Jose? Did you know that was, sabía que ella lo iba a entregar eso? No?
No, she didn't know.
She didn't know. He didn't know. Well, Jose, I love it. So thank you for all you've done in the community. Adriana, thank you for what you're doing. Yeah. Should we take a picture?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Let's
Mayor.
take a picture. Adriana, stay up here too for the picture. Quédese aquí.
Go ahead, you can go first.
I didn't notice it, but the little doll was not of Capitan. It's of the mascot that he had. It was really cool. Looked exactly like the mascot. So that's awesome. She does amazing. Adriana does amazing work. So very talented. So thank you for being here and thank you for all you're doing. Okay, at this point we will move on to public comment. You really don't have to. You're welcome to. They do have, Councilman Henderson says you do have to. So at this point, audience members may bring any item within the city's purview to the city council's attention. Comments will be limited to 2 minutes. State law prohibits the council from acting on items that do not appear on the agenda. Public comments for this meeting will also be conducted electronically. Any person interested in addressing the council may submit a comment by emailing recorder@herriman.org or by visiting herriman.org/agendas and minutes, where there is a link to fill out an online public comment form. Your statement will be incorporated into the public record. So at this point, if you would like to, or if you're required to say something, come forward. Just state your name into the microphone. Uh-oh.
30 seconds. Adriana Mayor wants to teach in our community how to do this hard. I think that we should talk with maybe Columbus, that have the space to help her. She told me about this kind of art help her with depression and anxiety, and I think that it's a good resource for us. If we can help her to connect with Columbus, it would be amazing.
Yep, absolutely. Let me know. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome.
Who's the brave one?
Here we go. Yes.
Count on AJ.
You know them. Are they soccer kids?
Hello, my name is Avery Price. I'm here for Herriman High School government class. I don't have any concerns for the city. It is a great city. I do play soccer. I played with Jared's son, Josiah, for a very long time. So if you guys feel like getting some new soccer fields out here in Herriman, that would be we'd love that. You know, there's a lot of space.
Perfect.
I love it.
Suggestion.
There's a lot of space out there, and across from your neighborhood, that big field, you know, perfect. Be pretty awesome.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we could really get started working on that. I mean, I don't know anybody to fund it, but you guys got that.
We'll figure that out.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I love it.
AJ, well done.
Yes.
You other two, not so much.
Don't get me in trouble for applause again. I got in trouble from our city attorney for the applause. You guys are good. We appreciate you being here, truly appreciate you being involved. If you're all soccer players, I'm sorry. So, actually, we love soccer around here. We have plans, actually, so we'll talk. There are plans for probably.
Next time I see you, I'll show you what we're working on over there.
Got big plans.
Awesome.
So, thank you, everybody. Okay, move on to city council reports. We'll start with Jared.
Nothing tonight.
Okay. Teddy said he does not have anything, so Sherry?
Nope.
Wow. Okay, Steve?
No,
Oh my
I'm going to save
gosh.
my comments for the consent agenda. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, I thought I had a minute to go through all my stuff. Just a few things maybe that I could brief the council on. That's not necessarily committee assignments. We did have a meeting with Riverton and Bluffdale. That this week? That was Monday morning. The plan to open 138th, kind of tentatively, right? I mean, kind of we're looking at probably October 1. That's kind of a soft date we're looking at. It's done. It's basically done. We do have to redo, there's a pedestrian tabletop, an elevated, that was a request of Bluffdale and Riverton, because we don't normally do those, but there was a request from them to have that in as a traffic calming measure, but it got built incorrectly. So they have to redo it. And then we're trying to wait until the stoplight, which is also a big deal. There's another thread on Herriman happenings this week about Sentinel, but the stoplight will be in within a couple of weeks hopefully, we're waiting on Rocky Mountain Power, but hopefully that stoplight at 138th and Sentinel will be in within a couple of weeks, which is just, I guess, for public consumption, as Jared likes to say. So, and then that will go through into, all the way through Bluffdale and Riverton. So, that, and then I'm trying to think of anything else. Just by way of record, I'd let Sherry know. Sherry did nominate me for the league board, and actually I was appointed to the league board this year, so I start a 2-year stint on the board of directors for the Utah League of Cities and Towns.
That gives us an extra person that we can.
Oh,
LPC,
it probably does. That's a great point.
they can also
Let's talk about that at the next, yep.
if somebody's on the board.
If one of us is on the board, I believe.
Yeah, so there still would just be 3 that he doesn't count.
So it's really cool. So I appreciate the nomination, Sherry, and
Yeah. Do a good job.
thank you. It's good because honestly, and there's not a lot of fresh faces. We've talked in the past about how it feels like there have been a lot of the same faces. A lot of them are falling off right now. So this is there's 15 members on the board and 9 of us are new this year. So there's a lot of new faces. Mayor Stevenson from Midvale, who's phenomenal. Just some good. Mayor of Ogden, he's a genius. He's a good man. So good, just a good group. The mayor of Monticello, she's a rock star. Like she is. Anyways, just amazing work going on across the state. So it'll be good to be involved with that and bring some, always good to have a seat at the table, as we've talked about. So yeah. So the nominating committee, that was a process. That was intense. So don't screw it up. Okay, that's all I have at this point then. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Yes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as written.
No way. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Jared. Jared?
Yes.
Sherry?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes, that motion carries. Okay, just one discussion item tonight. 9.1, a consideration to approve an amendment to the reimbursement agreement for 6400 West Phase 1 with Olympia. JB, welcome.
Is that 2 minutes up there for me?
Yes.
Got it. So for those who may not remember, in June 12th, earlier this year, we chatted about this, where we executed a reimbursement agreement for this red shaded area, the Phase 1 6400 West. At that time, it was, the reimbursement agreement was written in accordance with the master development agreement to reimburse it accordingly. And interest, engineering fees, as well as the cost of sewer was not included as part of that reimbursement agreement. Since that time, the developer has has rescinded their request to be paid for in interest, but they have asked that they get paid for engineering, the cost for engineering as well as cost for sewer. So so tonight we're here to talk about that. Right now, the current recommendation is to not deny that request, as the initial staff report was written in accordance with the MDA, but of course, staff is ready to amend if council decides otherwise. Does anyone have any questions for me?
And JB, correct me if I'm wrong, this is coming back because we had this discussion and we kind of said, try to go get money from the sewer board. They denied that request. So kind of per our discussion, we said, bring it back. We can have further discussion.
Correct.
So just saying that's why it's back, right?
Perfect.
Difficult for me to approve things that we're not contractually obligated to, because we are contractually obligated for a lot of reimbursements. And we are not contractually obligated for this, right?
That's correct. The way the reimbursement agreement was written originally was in accordance with the MDA obligation.
Todd, can I ask you why because they believe it's in there, they believe they're entitled to it. Why do you think there's I guess that's what I'm trying to understand why.
There's some language in there that talks about reimbursement for infrastructure, and we do not, with the sewer in particular, that's not our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is roadways, curb gutter, that sort of thing. So I think that's why they are requesting for the sewer, is that there's just their interpretation is different than ours.
And if I
Yes,
might,
please. Yep.
Mayor, it says something about that the city would put in the utilities. We build streets without sewer lines, right? Because they don't always need them. This one doesn't serve anything but this subdivision, this part of Olympia. And so if you were to fund the sewer, you would have to take it out of general fund because we don't have any lines. I am more open to the idea of engineering because you can't really build a road without engineering. It doesn't say we have to. It doesn't say we don't either in the agreement. So when we first proposed it, so if you did that, it would just be rolled into that cost. We were obligated to build the 6,400 from 126th down to Heritage Drive in the Creek Ridge MDA. And so that one,
Which is less than half the length of that.
correct. And so that's where this kind of got, when Olympia was being negotiated, that was, well, you have to build that road. If anybody went to my presentation, that's my frustration with a lot of, like, our traffic studies. Oh, the city will use that. Well, I don't have to build that road. Well, but as soon as it gets built, then the city's building it, so we only have to pay 10%. But I don't want to build the road, but we get forced to. So I think certainly, I think you could, in good conscience, consider the engineering, but you're not obligated to. I would say on the sewer, it's not our utility. We don't build sewer lines. The sewer district, and they have a new name, and Teddy's not here to remind me of what its name is.
Jordan Basin.
Jordan Basin, which has nothing to do, when it used to be South Valley Sewer, it was easier to remember. Jordan Basin pays for those when they pay for them. Sometimes they're project costs. So I would think we would, you could go from there. And I've had some additional discussion with the developer, and I'm not, I think they've made the request. I don't know that it's going to be a make or break.
Okay. Okay, I think I have enough. Any other questions, comments then? Not, I'll look for a motion. Yeah, how are you going to word it? Because it's
Yeah. Amendment to approve an amendment? No. Deny. So I make a motion to deny an amendment to reimbursement agreement with Olympia Land LLC for the 6400 West Phase 1 roadway project.
motion by Sherry,
Second?
second by Jared. Jared,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes?
Steve,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well, so that motion carries. Okay, that brings us to the end of our meeting tonight.
You guys picked a good one to come to, man.
Short.
Future meetings, Planning Commission meeting next Wednesday, 7 o'clock, the 18th. Next City Council meeting, the 25th, at 7 o'clock. Upcoming events, Hungry Herriman, the Farmers Market every Monday, starting at 5 o'clock. Finding Nemo, Kids, and Little Mermaid, it's a joint, they do each production every night. One's usually at 6, one's usually at 8, if I remember, something like that. Look that up, because it's,
Side information in that Finding Nemo, that the shark Bruce is a remarkable performance, so.
okay, I'll take your word for it. I love it. So those come out and support that. That's the 19th through the 23rd, except for the Sunday. So that's Thursday through Monday, except Sunday. Another senior resident activity, I'm excited about this one. It's a lunch with Lee's. It's at Main Street Park on the 19th as well. RSVP is required for that one. I think that's everything. Watch for information on Expedition Yeti coming up as well. That's the following weekend, the 27th through 30th, I think. It's going to be a fun event this year, fun weekend, get out opportunity with the family. So, okay, with that being said, we do not have a closed tonight, correct? No closed tonight? Holy cow, my wife's not going to know what to do with me before 8 o'clock. So I will look for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Good.